It's interesting because we did the initial shoot and then we did some additional photography. The initial shoot was tricky in that I spent a lot of the time feeling confused as to what was going on. And Viola's confused, so it feels like it should work. But it was like trying to navigate how Viola and Todd work together. You know, it's a tricky thing making relationships right when there are 100 other things going on. So I always felt that Viola was a bit, not darker, but when I watched the film, I was surprised by the lightness with which Viola operates. And I think the additional photography was actually really helpful because I think everyone had a chance to figure out like how the relationship was really gonna work. And then me and Tom knew each other a bit longer. So it was like easier for us to have more of like a repartee.
But I'm afraid of her, right?
Yeah. I think you're afraid of her that first second because you're like, whoa. And then that's gotta...
And then just inquisitive.
So all of those things were actually really, really helpful to come back and tweak. And we had a couple new scenes. In terms of now and how the noise causes an emotional dystopia, I think probably parallels with social media and things like that, and people quickly putting something out into the world without perhaps thinking of the repercussions.
Not gonna hurt you. Billy sent me. I'll get the girl. Bring her to practice.
In Chaos Walking, the noise is spontaneous. You can't control it except for one character who contains it in quite a spooky way. But I guess it might be resonant in that way because of now quick news and quick information and something being out there and being unable to take it back and the way people perceive you. But I feel like there's an interesting thing with overload of information at the moment and overload of sort of share.
I like a good challenge, and it's why I was attracted to Chaos Walking right from the outset. It was like, sometimes I start with something that could be an easy, straightforward idea, and then I make it really hard, like Bourne Identity, which could have been just a more straightforward spy movie. Something like Chaos Walking was never going to be straightforward. I mean, the original script was written by Charlie Kaufman. There was just never, there is no kind of like conventional way of telling a story where people's thoughts are projected out. So the challenge for us, and one which if I had solved certain things earlier, you know, the studio probably would not have been trying to solve it themselves.
I do think credit where credit is due with Doug in that he likes writing for people. So the Viola that's presented in this film, she makes decisions that like I would make. So in terms of that, it isn't such a stretch for me because I'm like, oh, to me, that totally makes sense. Like, I'm not like, I would have done that differently. And also because it became quite a collaborative experience, before we did the additional photography, I was sent the script by Doug, and me and Doug had been talking quite a lot. And I never really had that on a film. Like, it was always collaborative, but I had never been sent a script and asked my opinion. And so I had given my thoughts, and I had a really good conversation with like various people. And I just said, look, from my point of view, this is what I think would be cool. Like, this is what I think might work. So it was a pretty amazing thing to be like, asked my opinion. I'm like, I don't know, 26, 27, in a way like that. So I was already sort of in a mindset because the conversation had been ongoing.
Hi guys, it's Debbie, and here's today's Daily Fact. The Star Wars films pose a great physical challenge for their actors. The film's fight coordinator intended to take 3 days to walk Daisy Ridley just through one scene in The Last Jedi, but Al Ray mastered it in just over 1 hour. The force is definitely strong in this one. Remember to click below to subscribe, on the side for more great content, and do you like this t-shirt? You can find it at the link in description.